Hi there. Hopefully you've had a chance to go ahead and fill out your unit circles and that you've been working towards sort of developing some nice fluency with filling in those unit circles. So today in this lesson we'll talk about finding values of trig functions on the unit circle. So here it says evaluate sine, cosine, and tangent of 45 degrees. So what I'm first going to do is go ahead and draw in my 45-degree angle. And so there's my 45-degree angle. I'm going to come down and create my right triangle. Based on our unit circle, I know that this is the square root of 2 over 2 and the square root of 2 over 2, and that my hypotenuse is 1. So here's my square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, and my hypotenuse is 1 there. So this says evaluate sine, cosine, and tangent of 45 degrees. So sine of 45, cosine of 45, and tangent of 45. So knowing what I know about these right triangles, I know that sine of 45 degrees is going to be the opposite, so the opposite over the hypotenuse. So square root of 2 over 2 all over 1, which will just end up leaving me with square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of 45 degrees, so again, here's my 45-degree angle. Cosine of 45 degrees is going to be the adjacent side, so here's my adjacent side over my hypotenuse. So again, square root of 2 over 2 all over 1, which will simplify nicely to the square root of 2 over 2. And lastly, tangent is going to be the opposite over the adjacent side. So I'll end up here with square root of 2 over 2 all over the square root of 2 over 2, which will simplify down to 1. So I'm using my knowledge of right triangle trig and my coordinates here of the unit circle to evaluate these trig functions. So let's do another example together. So evaluate sine, cosine, and tangent of 150 degrees. So here is my 150-degree angle, and that makes this piece right here 30 degrees because I need to get to 180 degrees. And here's my right triangle. So knowing that this is going to be negative square root of 3 over 2, this side will measure to be 1/2. So let's go ahead and fill in my coordinates here. I can say that my x-coordinate is negative square root of 3 over 2, and my y-coordinate is 1/2. So sine of 150 degrees will go ahead and give me the opposite of, so sine of 150 degrees we can also read as sine of 30 degrees. So I'm looking at this triangle here, it's going to be the opposite, so 1/2 over the hypotenuse, which is 1. So sine of 150 degrees is going to give me a value of 1/2. And cosine of 150 degrees, again, I'm looking at this triangle here where this chunk right here is what helps me create my right triangle. So cosine of 30 degrees is going to be negative square root of 3 over 2 all over my hypotenuse of 1, which simplifies to negative square root of 3 over 2. And for tangent of 150 degrees, I'm looking at, so SOHCAHTOA, I'm looking at the opposite over the adjacent. So I have 1/2 all over negative square root of 3 over 2. So let's go ahead and simplify this as 1/2 times negative 2 over the square root of 3. And we'll come down here to give myself a little bit more space. I'll end up with negative 2 over 2 square roots of 3. My 2's will simplify out, negative 1 over the square root of 3, and we can rationalize this denominator by multiplying both sides by the square root of 3. So negative square root of 3 over 3 will be the value of tangent at 150 degrees. So Down here, evaluate sine, cosine, and tangent of the given angle. So looking at sort of what's happening here, I can see that since I have a hypotenuse of 1, so since the radius of the unit circle is 1, I can see here that my sine, cosine, and tangent, that my sine, if I look here, let's grab another color, that my sine is 1/2, which corresponds with my y value. My cosine is negative square root of 3/2, and that corresponds with my x value. So I just want you to notice, go ahead and see what you can notice about sort of that beginning of the finding that we just sort of created there in terms of these x and y values. And I think if you build upon sort of that noticing, that may be helpful as you work towards completing some of these homework problems. And if you want to go ahead and give this problem a shot as well. So here's my angle, and so if this is my x coordinate, I know that I'm here at 12/13, and if this is my y coordinate, I know that I'm over here at negative 5/13. So if I'm talking about referencing this angle right here, see what we could do to figure out the sine, cosine, and tangent of these angles, and see if you notice any sort of patterns in terms of the x and the y here, and what you end up finding for sine, cosine, and tangent of that angle. So I'll let you guys try this one on your own. Again, Tuesday, Thursday, please, if you have any questions, I'd love to go over them at that point. And I wish you good luck with your homework problems.